I think for me, confidence comes with preparation.
जब आप कलाकार होते हैं, एक्टर होते हैं, you're constantly putting yourself in a very vulnerable position.
Wildness, I would say शायद हम ज़्यादा wild हैं उनसे.
A good work always inspires. It inspires you to do better at your work.
So हमारे लिए तो हमेशा ही आर्या पार की लड़ाई होती है.
अगर आपको परेश रावल देखना है तो 1500 भर के आप वो थिएटर में जाइए जहाँ पे परेश रावल है.
पर ऐसा कभी मैं अभिभूत नहीं हो गया कि अरे यार मैं थिएटर में दिख गया तो मैं बहुत बड़ा हो जाऊंगा. ऐसा कुछ आपको अपने काम में कितना रस आ रहा है वो
That is all that matters.
I think for me, confidence comes with preparation.
दोस्तों जब भी हम बात करते हैं आर या पार की, वी ऑलवेज टेंड टू थिंक ये पर्सन विनर होगा, वो पर्सन विनर होगा. ऐसा नहीं है यहाँ पे. इन सब के बीच में जो मेरे साथ अभी यहाँ पे मौजूद है, इनके बीच में आर पार टकरार कुछ नहीं है. सिर्फ बहुत सारा प्यार है. दैट इज व्हाट आई वुड लाइक टू बिलीव. सुमित सर, कैसे हो आप, बताओ मुझे.
अच्छा हूँ.
लविंग द ग्लासेस.
या
लग रहा है एकदम ट्विनिंग करके आए हो अपने कॉम्बिनेशन की तरह. आई हैव विद मी द लवली हैंडसम डूड. मेरे दोस्त बन गए अभी कुछ देर पहले यहाँ पे. ही इज ऑल सेट टू डू अ धमाका. अब होगी नहीं, बताओ जोर से वहाँ पे कैमरा के. आई एम रेडी टू डू धमाका.
I am ready to do धमाका.
अरे क्या बात है, क्या बात है. एंड शी इज ऑलरेडी गिविंग पॉजिटिव वाइब्स विद अ ग्रीन लवली लुक ओवर देयर. पत्रलेखा, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग. पीस, ऑल पीस. सबसे पहले मुझे आप तीन बताओ. आई वांट टू स्टार्ट विथ यू. स्पेशल बायस फॉर यू राइट नाउ. मुझे बताओ, ये जो आपका कैरेक्टर है, इट्स अबाउट बीइंग इन द ट्राइब्स वगैरह एक्सेट्रा. जंगली तो है, कितना जंगली है? हाउ वाइल्ड आर यू? टेक वट एवर कॉनोटेशंस यू वांट टू व्हेन आई से दिस. हाउ वाइल्ड आर यू?
Right. So, I think there is the first thing that struck me was when I started sort of preparing and really getting to know a lot of these untouched tribes and the ones that stay isolated. There is actually a great amount of sensitivity. There is actually a great amount of civility in their own way. It might not be perceptible to us from the outside. जो हम मतलब हमारे लिए तो उनके रीति रिवाज बहुत अलग होते हैं. लेकिन उनके लिए there is organization, there is civility, there is sensitivity, there is, I would say, far greater humanity than even we display, in terms of, especially with their surroundings, especially with their own people. मतलब वहाँ पे, at least based on what little I know and what little I sort of studied about it, वहाँ पे अपने अपने होते हैं, in a very true sense. Like your tribe is your family, your forest is your home, and then you treat it as such. So I would say यार, in terms of wildness, I would say शायद हम ज़्यादा wild हैं उनसे in terms of the negative connotation of the word. As far as if you look at it in a more positive way, in the sense of wildness and abandon and freedom, boss, they like their ability to carve a home out of wilderness is amazing, and that gives you that must give such a sense of freedom, such a sense of independence, and such a sense of being one with the world. तो
आपके जवाब से लग रहा है आप इंडस्ट्री के लिए तैयार हो. आपने हर तरीके का वाइल्डनेस का बताया. जो मैं मीन कर रहा था वो आपने नहीं बताया. वेरी स्वीट ऑफ यू.
One lives and one learns.
Absolutely. मुझे आप दोनों प्लीज बताओ मुझे. It's a different story. When you talk about Arya Paar, it's about either going all guns blazing and achieving what you want to do, या फिर you miss out, you take a back seat, you learn and then you grow from there. अगर मैं आप दोनों को पूछूं, in a way where it was literally about Arya Paar की लड़ाई and you literally had to go all guns blazing, अगर आप fail किए, so how did you motivate and get yourself into a rather winning position? और अगर जीते हो वो situation पे, तो कैसे जीते हो?
I mean, जो हम जिस प्रोफेशन में हैं उसमें आर पार की ही लड़ाई है. कि जो भी आप अगला काम उठाते हैं तो उसमें either you're gonna land in a good place or you'll be forgotten. And जब आप कलाकार होते हैं, एक्टर होते हैं, you're constantly putting yourself in a very vulnerable position. Because essentially people want to be entertained by you. And then sometimes they want to engage with you and perhaps have a conversation or some sort of dialogue with you. So हमारे लिए तो हमेशा ही आर्या पार की लड़ाई होती है.
उसमें 9 out of 10 times आप पार में ही जाते हो.
नहीं, ये तो नहीं. ये तो सच नहीं.
This is just my personal love for you, sir. Patralekhaa, you want to add something?
I mean, there's not much to be added. Life doesn't give you opportunities ki Arya Paar. You have to keep striving for what you. I mean, it depends on your work as an actor or any other field. You have to keep striving because that's life.
That is life indeed. आप please मुझे बताओ. You come from this. You have that surname itself. You know, it's a huge baggage because it is the surname of one of the greatest of our industry. You know, I'm not just saying that because he's your father, but in general, everybody knows that. You know, so that's huge shoes in that way. I know you don't have to think consciously because you're out there to create your own journey. But of course, he's there as a guiding force, which is a blessing, of course. What is that one thing that he has said कि बेटा ये मत करो? ऐसा कुछ उन्होंने कहा होगा, sharing from his experience.
I think उनका अंदाज ही वही है कि वो कुछ ऐसे तो कहते नहीं है कि मत करो या करो, क्योंकि उनको पता है कि अगर वो ऐसा करेंगे तो मैं शायद उल्टा कर लूँ. बट उन्हें देख के मैंने जो सीखा है, आई थिंक वही बात है कि वो he's got his head on his shoulders.
But are you ready for comparisons? Because वो होगा.
हाँ, वो तो होने दो. मैंने 18 साल की उम्र में मैंने जब पहला नाटक किया था, I remember मैंने रिहर्सल के दौरान तो मैंने कुछ सोचा नहीं था इसके बारे में, लेकिन I was going to the show. I was on my way to Prithvi Theatre. And suddenly it struck me. I was like, अरे shit, like, you know, your Paresh Rawal's son और ये वो. For some reason, something compelled me to call him and to ask him कि आपके नाटक के टिकट का प्राइस क्या है. तो he said कि हाँ मेरा तो अभी मतलब you know whatever depending on the theatre the show ना 1500 तक जाता है जो भी. तो मैंने मेरे प्रोड्यूसर को पूछा कि हमारे टिकट का प्राइस क्या. बोले 250 रुपये. मैं बोले ठीक है, तो फिर अगर आपको परेश रावल देखना है तो 1500 भर के आप वो थिएटर में जाइए जहाँ पे परेश रावल है, नहीं तो आपको 250 रुपये में पृथ्वी थिएटर में ये मिलेगा आपको देखने को, एंड वही मिलेगा. एंड दैट इज आई थिंक द प्रिंसिपल विथ विच आई ऑलवेज सॉर्ट ऑफ वर्क.
नहीं, बट मैं दिल से बोलता हूँ 250 आई होप आगे जाके 2500 3000
वो जो भी हो, यू नो, हम तो आई थिंक सच इज आवर प्रोफेशन इज दैट इन अ हार्ट ऑफ हार्ट्स इफ यू आस्क आई फील एनी ऑफ अस if we were to be given a good character जो हम मतलब नुक्कड़ के नाटक पे कर सके तो हम खुशी खुशी कर लें. You know, it is the first is the doing of it and then the rest of it is frills. Very often it doesn't even matter to us. Honestly, I would rather more people come to see a play that I'm part of, a film that I'm part of, a show that I'm part of, than it be a certain marquee event or anything of that sort. For sure.
Sir, आप मुझे बताओ, you know, in terms of say OTT space, you have been killing it everywhere. Awards हर तरीके से आ रहे हैं, हमारे यहाँ से हो कि कहीं और से हो. It's just you know कि अगर कोई award season होगा OTT को लेके, Sumeet Vyas is definitely getting something or the other. That is the kind of brand and benchmark that you have set in the OTT space. Movies में भी आपने किया है your bit. But somewhere down the line, do you feel कि you know जो recognition या फिर जो acknowledgement आपको आपके काम का मिलता है in the OTT space, despite you doing good, you're maybe not getting that at that level in movies. I know you might not be consciously trying as well because you're already very busy. But do you want to maintain that balance in movies as well? Because ultimately, agar kahe to that 70 mm is something we all strive, you know. I mean, that is ultimately an end goal.
I was never starstruck by it, to put it nicely. मेरे को कभी ऐसा नहीं लगा कि वो कर लूँगा तो मैं कहीं पहुँच जाऊँ. वो मैंने किया है उससे पहले, OTT से पहले भी कुछ
of course
की, और अभी और भी आगे आएंगे तो भी करेंगे. पर ऐसा कभी मैं अभिभूत नहीं हो गया कि अरे यार मैं थिएटर में दिख गया तो मैं बहुत बड़ा हो जाऊंगा. ऐसा कुछ उतना ज़्यादा लोड लिया नहीं मैंने.
लोड ले लेने का.
No, but as an actor also, I'm sorry.
Please.
But I feel like whether it's a 70 mm or it's a small screen, it's not about seeing yourself there. It's about getting those characters, playing it with all your heart, your might, and being part of those stories and those scripts. I think that's what matters, not a small screen or big screen.
Nothing is small or big in any way.
Absolutely.
You know, if you talk about reach bolo, audience bolo, you know, आपको Disney Plus Hotstar में जो audience मिलेगा, that is pretty much same that you go when you go to the cinema as well. But it's just that
perhaps more.
Perhaps even more, of course. You know, when you talk about it, because reach is comparatively more, and people are watching it at their own comfort zone. So when you're talking about being actors as well, does that also give you that extra additional cushion as well when you're performing कि चलो ठीक है यार वो pressure नहीं है box office का, उसके वजह से even if we are like good, if we are good in the performance part, we are good. बस वो good का थप्पा लग गया वहाँ पे, that collection part is not coming. Does that give you an extra cushion as a performing artist?
I think जब आप परफॉर्म कर रहे होते हो ना तब आप इसके बारे में नहीं सोच सकते. इनफैक्ट न सिर्फ एक्टर बट जो डायरेक्ट भी कर रहा है, जो सिनेमेटोग्राफर है, जब वो एक्चुअल क्राफ्ट में इंडल्ज कर रहा होता है उस समय इसके बारे में तो आप नहीं सोच सकते कि मैं ये करूँगा तो हिट हो जाएगा. अगर वो पता होता तो शायद सभी चीज़ें हिट हो जाती. तो उस समय तो आप हमेशा ही ये कोशिश करते हो या करनी चाहिए कि मैं ये बेस्ट कर दूँ, ऐसा करूँ जो पहले मैंने कभी नहीं किया एक नई बात इससे कहूँ, वो बाद में जब बन जाती है पूरी चीज़, when people are stitching the whole thing together, that's when you start thinking about okay, तो कैसे इसको करें कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग इसको देखें या पसंद करें। या कुछ केसेस में कुछ प्रोजेक्ट वैसे होते हैं जो ज़्यादा लोगों को दिखाने के लिए नहीं बनाए जाते।
Very niche that.
हाँ, उसकी एक डेडिकेटेड ऑडियंस होती है, उसके लिए भी बनाते हैं, उसका भी अपना सुख है।
True.
जैसे अभी वो पृथ्वी की बात कर रहे थे, वहाँ तो 180 लोग आते हैं आज की डेट में, 200 भी नहीं आते।
So true.
तो पर ऐसा नहीं है कि वहाँ मैं थोड़ा कम एक्टिंग करता हूँ, हो सकता है वहाँ तो ज़्यादा ही करता हूँ, पर उसका भी अपना एक रस, आपको अपने काम में कितना रस आ रहा है वो
That is all that matters. You know, Patralekhaa, if I have to ask, you know, you've had this very interesting journey so far, and of course, आगे जाके hopefully touchwood it's going to enhance and get better. But say मैं 2014 से बात करूँ, from say the time of City Lights, you have grown, Raj has grown, आप दोनों you have grown together, mashallah, touchwood. अगर मैं आपको पूछूँ कि as a performing artist, how does his work motivate you to become even a better version of yourself, which you already are?
It's not only his work, it's every work that you see on films or on the platforms. A good work always inspires. It inspires you to do better at your work.
Correct.
And you're learning so much constantly because when you watch a good performance, you're like, अच्छा मैं ये कैसे करती?
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like everybody's work is constantly inspiring. Coming back to Raj, of course he's family and it's great to see how he's so motivated to work. So I think his motivation towards his work motivates me.
I think, wow, that's a very nice way of putting it. Huh? आप मुझे बताओ, you're talking about this thing where say Prithvi Theatre में जाके you have had your own journey. अभी भी you're starting in a way. And if I talk about your starting, it's not like कि एकदम high octane action hero वाला type role है जहाँ पे you're going all guns blazing. It's a very niche और very क्या बोलते हैं एक clustered में है, which is उसके basis में आपको उसी block के अंदर ही आपको perform करके you have to prove your mettle. It's not the very, I would say, that starry launch जो शायद we see in a lot of places as well. And when you do something like that, I think that takes a lot of confidence as well. वो कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ से आता है? बिकॉज ऑफ योर ओन क्राफ्ट, बिकॉज ऑफ योर ओन एबिलिटी, या फिर a lot of it has been given to you from your father. What is the source of that?
I think for me, confidence comes with preparation. So whether it is the plays that I did, whether it is the screenwriting, the playwriting that I do, or if it is even acting for film or television, I think for me the key is always to just prepare as much as I can, do a lot of homework, sometimes more than is required, just so that when I am on set, I'm only thinking about achieving what the scene demands, right? I'm only thinking about the character, what he wants in that moment, as opposed to thinking about the how of doing things. So for example, हमारे show में archery is playing a big part, and there are 3 different types of bows. And to fire each bow takes a different kind of technique. To look comfortable while firing each bow takes a lot of practice. But the fact that I was able to do that along with a wonderful archery coach called Swapnil Parab sir, it just once. So then when you arrive on set, it actually gives you even more confidence, because you're like, no, I got this part of it. Let's crack this scene. You know what I'm saying? And the same goes for all the other stuff that I've done. I think part of it also comes from playing football professionally.
Yeah.
Because day in day out, आप तो कोलकाता वाले हैं, तो आप तो जानते ही होंगे,
100%.
है ना? तो the idea of having to prove yourself day in day out, because even during training you're trying to prove to the coach that you deserve to be in the playing 11.
Yeah.
When you're in the playing 11, then you have to justify your space. So you're constantly examined. So then there is a comfort with being challenged, day in day out, and waking up to it, where it is, this is how you have to sort of progress in life. So I think that's all of those experiences. Of course, also learning from my very illustrious parents. Of that there is no doubt.
Very नहीं, बहुत ज़्यादा, very बोलो आप.
very. So yeah. So all of those things I think come together with to sort of create a sort of sense of confidence.
Patralekhaa, I have to ask about him. If I talk about OT's permanent roommates, बोलो कुछ भी बोलो. I mean, these are cults in itself. When you were working with him, Did you tell him कि यार आपका ये show मैंने देखा था, this was something that I really loved, या फिर did he say anything like that? Because I don't think he hesitates from complimenting when you really deserve. So what was that kind of? मुझे लगता है interesting कुछ हुआ होगा.
I followed his work, I admire his work, and I really feel like, you know, just the way he conducts himself is something that, you know, is really noteworthy. And I was very nervous the first day, and my first scene was only with Sumeet, but he had this this aura or whatever, I don't know, this he didn't tell me much, but he knew I was a little jittery, so he really like helped me through the scene, you know. He didn't have to come and say, oh, are you okay, should I help you? No, nothing, but very quietly. I think that's who Sumeet is, you know.
I'm sure he's a fantastic man as well.
Yeah.
we will have a lot of other validations as well. But you know, sir, ये जो उन्होंने बोला, I think it's a very valid. I think for him as well, it might be quite true because आपके comparison, both of them.
Working with
exactly both of them.
Sir, with Debu sir.
आशीष सर तो आज unfortunately अभी है नहीं, but today with.
मतलब उनके साथ रह के it's almost like आपको एक you got a warm hug while you're doing the scene. यार, it's amazing.
आशीष सर के बारे में कुछ बताओ, because you know my first memory of आशीष विद्यार्थी, if I say. That is कहो ना प्यार है. He's playing that, you know, bad cop, not so very good cop, and so far so much he's done. He loves Kolkata as well. मैं उसके बारे में उनसे बात करता हूँ. He loves going to Kolkata, eating sweets. He loves to explore those places वगैरह. So he's very fascinating and दिल से जवान है. That is what I can say. So he will not make you feel like कि अरे यार चलो मैं senior actor हूँ वगैरह etc. तो उनके साथ वो vibe कैसा था? Because I'm sure he must have gelled fantastically with you guys.
It was lovely. I mean, I actually didn't have many scenes with him. I only met him at the shoot and everything. पर मैं उनको वैसे वो NSD से हैं. हाँ. मेरे पिताजी भी NSD से हैं. जी. तो उस लिहाज से मैं उनको वैसे जानता हूँ. Then back in the day he used to do this play दया शंकर की डायरी. तो आखिर में I think I operated lights for one of his shows and then I did background score for. I'm sure he wouldn't remember because I was one whatever.
But ये कहानी बताओ उनको अभी आप.
I will tell him.
You'll be fascinated.
Yeah, but I was really enamored by him back then and even now. My first memory of him is Drokal. Drokal was the time when, you know, everybody was talking about this actor called Ashish Vidyarthi. I was pretty young at that time.
Was it late 80s or early 90s?
90s, I think.
Early 90s.
Early 90s.
5 के तो पहले ही होगा. क्योंकि मैं कहूँ ना मैं उसके बाद 5 साल था.
I was, you know, I was shocked. I had never seen something like that before. The kind of performance he had done. It was extraordinary.
And we talk about energy, we talk about people like say Ranveer Singh and all, but he is a bundle joy when it comes to energy. तो वो दिखाते नहीं है वो ज़्यादा, but एकदम है, अगर वो किसी भी चीज़ में आप पार्टिसिपेट कराओ उनको, वो करेंगे.
अरे सर आप उनकी YouTube वीडियोस देख लीजिए.
अरे मैं वही तो देखता हूँ. वो कोलकाता में गए, मैंने उनको वो भेजा था लिंक. He had shared a vlog of कोलकाता. वो कैसे कैब में जा रहे, how he is having a very nice कुछ localite food restaurant था वहाँ पे. He's going there, he's obliging fans with selfies वगैरह. He's वो एकदम natural human being.
Zest for life, the passion for his work is fantastic.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
अगर मैं आप तीनों से ये चीज़ पूछूँ, you know, आर्या पार, everybody we have decided, इसमें I hope it's the other way around, the success way for you. But apart from that, that one highlight factor, I'm sure individually आप तीनों के लिए अलग होगा. That one highlight reason for being a part of this. आपके लिए क्या था? आपके लिए क्या था? आपके लिए क्या था? Let's start with the lady over here.
I think it just ticked all the boxes. You know, it was a good script. You know, and we had such fantastic actors on board, and most importantly, Siddharth Sengupta.
Oh yes.
I really admire his work, and he has created the show. He's written it, so it was just like, you know, it's just I just wanted to work with him, and it came to me. So, I mean, it just ticked all the boxes. I had really good co-actors, Sumeet, Aditya. We have to mention Dibendu Bhattacharya.
Yes.
He's another phenomenal actor. Short से पहले वो हमारे साथ बकर कर रहे हैं, ये खाना वो खाना ये, and suddenly when the camera action, that man really flips. So also a lot of learning.
So much. It's like that switch. बंद करो ये खाना, on करो वापस acting.
And he has this thing where, of course, there are a lot of actors who, you know, switch and then they become alive as their characters. He has this knack of bringing a whole scene to life.
Yeah.
You know, he is looking, right?
Correct.
He's not just looking at it as his character in that sense. He has this inherent awareness. of how the scene will also play out.
Yeah.
You know, and how to make it an exciting, eventful, interesting scene. Supposed to again to act with Debu sir is like riding a wave.
Yeah.
You just have to be
Be there,
present,
Yeah.
be aware, and he's
बहते जाओ, you're going in the right direction.
क्योंकि आपको पता नहीं ना वो कहाँ जाएगी.
and he's also such a joy
Yeah,
to
yeah, work with. Yeah.
As in, like, the breaks are just as pleasurable as the
Yeah.
shooting part of it. Just a fantastic human being and an amazing actor.
ये जो अपनेपन में ये जो प्यार है ना, I hope it keeps growing. You want to add something before we conclude?
Same actually. लवली कास्ट, इतनी अच्छी कहानी है, सिद्धार्थ सेन गुप्ता है, उनके साथ मेरा बड़ा मन था उनके साथ काम करने का, और वो एक्चुअली बहुत बढ़िया आदमी है. इतना बचाया है ना उन्होंने, because he's seen some crazy amount of success in television and now in the OTT space. But when I actually met him, because he's a little bit of a recluse, I could just see that why and how he's able to create all these things, because he really protects himself from all the fuss that comes around with success.
And he's got the curiosity of a student.
Yeah.
थोड़ा वो बहुत ज़रूरी है. आप अपने अंदर का जो एक बच्चा होता है ना,
दिल से बच्चे,
उसको आप जिंदा रखें, तो वो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा बचाया उसे.
But you're talking about success, you're talking about being protective. May you all get a lot of success. May you all continue to be very protective towards each other. सिद्धार्थ सर के लिए हो, आशीष सर के लिए जो है नहीं, उनके लिए भी स्पेशल मेंशन तो बनता है. But guys, आर्या पार, please go and watch it on Disney Plus Hotstar. Date सबको आपको पता ही होगा आगे जाने के बाद. Please shower a lot of love, support, affection and everything on them, because I genuinely feel that they deserve it all. That's a wrap on the Bollywood Talk Show today on IWMBuzz. This is your host Shubhajit. We'll see you again with another interesting episode very soon. Thank you.